But anyway, let's jump into that turning notifications off of that shit. That shit is popping. Like that shit is constantly got shit going on, constant posts. I mean, the things that a Facebook group is supposed to be, I got to give those folks credit. They did a good job with that. I can see why a show would have sprouted out from that. And then I joined Kevin Samuels fan page. I look old as shit. The Kevin Sam. Can y'all see? Yes. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this. All right, so people starting to come in. I need to get my hair cut and everything. But anyway, done the cage, which is like it doesn't have as much activity as that Lapeef shit, but that Lapeef shit is like on some other shit. But it definitely has a lot of activity compared to most Facebook groups. Yeah, I know some of y'all was watching the six, and I don't know what happened to her shit. Her shit got lagged. I was seeing some of that, and she was talking about how men need feminine energy or feminine balance, which I agree with. I don't disagree with that. But see, that's the the problem is not that the problem men. First of all, let's keep this 100. And I know she wasn't talking about the manosphere. She talks about in general, but that premise. The black manosphere rejected MGTOW early on. But the problem is the black community, not femininity, but by women. And is dominated by women because like Kevin Samuels and others said, women use white supremacy against their men, which makes them treacherous as hell. And there's degrees to that shit. But it happens. Because you remove this white power structure from the equation, instantly shit changes. And this is why when you look at women in the diaspora, we're near the kind of bullshit they can do here. It has nothing to do with those men are better. It's just they don't happen to be in our circumstance. Point blank, period. Yeah, I don't know why. It's like I don't know, whatever. Um, but anyway, jumping back into the group, and a dude, it's not even the main post, but it was a comment that a dude made, and then it be a high value man without money, and it's about leadership and internal shit and all the intangibles. And this thing annoys the shit out of me. What's up, Charles? Shit out of me when black men say this. Because this is like one of the few things. This is one of the few things that a lot of black women legit have a legit gripe on. Now, ultimately, it does come back on them because they sexually validate this mentality, which is why I don't get it. But we're not talking about them. We're talking about you. And this is one thing that I've said too, because I was talking to a chick in that group, and she was talking about single motherhood, and he got somebody pregnant. His conversation is his conversation. His conversation about your crazy ass, about you putting him on child support, about you getting a white man on him. That is for people to have with him because he shouldn't have put his dick in you and nutted in you. That is his fault and his cross to bear. Now we know that system is bullshit and all that, but whatever. Because he's got to deal with that because at the end of the day, he chose to fuck you. But at the same time, your issue him for what you did. You had a kid, you wanted a baby, you had one. That dude has no. If you want to terminate that pregnancy, that dude has no control. If you want to take a morning after pill, that dude has no control. So all it is, he got my men don't get you pregnant in America. Getting you pregnant means that you don't have an ability to abort the baby, or take a morning after pill, or whatever birth control. And women assume that everywhere in the planet that shit's available. But no. No. So it's your side and it's his side. It's like the defense trying to complain about the offense or the offense trying to complain about the defense in football. No, you have your job, they have their job. Sure, one person not doing their job can affect the other, obviously. But the problem is you don't blame your lack of defense on what the offense is not doing. The offense can't blame the lack of them being able to do that. But going back to the other side, having dudes, too many dudes. This is why I don't like the game argument. This is why I hate, because one thing about game niggas, dating coaches, is they always like to like scapegoat this issue. A big reason why black men like games so much is because black men like the idea that they can find to get around of being economically viable. They like the idea, and this is one reason why I have such a hard time convincing dudes of the gynocracy, and we have such a hard time moving forward, because I was on Hammer shit, and Hammer had tricked the algorithm, so he was getting like 400 viewers, 1,000 viewers. This was the last night, and George Macon was on there, and Smurgo, and some of the young dudes. It was one dude from the UK. I mean, they would sink at him. Fuck you, you old ass nigga. You old ass nigga with his time to tell us do single mothers. I mean, they were basically going full baby's kids on him. And when and I try to come in there and moderate it a little bit. What George tries to do, agreeing, going against what he says, but he'll always, and I can't stand this, to be honest with you, but I let it go this time. When dudes try to say, I don't understand what you're saying. Like, that's what black people like to do. If you don't agree with them, they like to always say, I don't understand what somebody's saying, or somebody doesn't understand. And what they tend to do is they tend to make it so if you're not saying everything they're saying, like with a microscopic quote of what they're saying, they try to make it seem like you completely missed the context. And I'm like, nigga, just because I don't emotionally resonate with what you're talking about, because that's what you're looking for me to do, so the logic we can find later, does not mean I don't understand. Broke it down as to this is why these guys are reacting to you this way. And I wasn't even privy to the conversation like that, but I know some of them dudes enough to know what their trigger buttons. And I know why they would react to somebody like and he wanted to frame it like he didn't say this, he didn't say that, but you imply a lot of this stuff, and they can see that, and they're responding to that. So they're just not giving you any rope. They're just going at you. And I'm not saying they were right, because even in the way that they did it, at the end of the day, the conversation forward, it just gets to calling people, he gonna still think the way he think, and it's not about changing his mind, but it's about him knowing that these dudes are on point with what they think. They don't just think some random shit. They have a reason why they think this. And even I told George, I'm getting to a point. I told George, I said, George really is, you kept saying, well, black men don't come together. But see, you don't say why. There was 2 females on there too. You don't say why black men don't come together. You just say they don't, so females will fucking. You got way too many women in agreement with kind of what you're saying. And I told them the reason why black women be catty like this subconsciously is because they are afraid that we will come together on some shit they don't agree with. And that basically, if anything, we will basically take our support away and invest it in what we collectively agree with. And then that basically changes that dynamic. That's like a white person being afraid of giving power to black people, thinking black people put them in slavery. It's the same other women that they may mean well. Ultimately, they are willing to roll a dice that this won't be an issue, where I can guarantee you this is gonna be an issue. This is why everybody loves to talk about we never come together. I'm not talking about certain pockets. I'm talking about we never come together. This is the why. So George was like, he agreed with that part, the part of they're afraid of something. And to see the women, I didn't even know the women were on here at that time, and they got quiet, because as soon as we start talking about something that they don't agree with, and then they don't have an ability to change it. I mean, you can look at how they're responding to Kevin. Hell, fuck Kevin. You can look at how they're responding to Jason Black when Jason says something they don't. A guy from the 6, and he never off on his channel, but he already said some really interesting things. Nameless. And he I think he got up to a couple of thousand. But the point is, he did a video on Amiri Brown way back when. I happened to see it. It was in my watch time. And he was talking about how, you know, this is back when Amiri Brown was throwing black men under the bus at first when he was on Cynthia G. So basically, the premise as to why I don't like him and I don't respect anything he's got to say. But then when he flipped, shout out to Roger, shout out to Charles, shout out to Ease, Jim Rat. Yeah, I don't know what happened with the Sixes string from Jim Rat. Um, but when he started, you know, it ain't even like he flipped. He started now coming more Republican that throws red meat, and then they come in the middle, like a black dude that says some Candace Owens, some Brandon Tatum level shit. And out there in the general, they try to be a little bit reasonable. They still on the team, the white team, but they a little bit reasonable. Now they get thrown off the bus. Black women have the same mentality a lot of times, where once you say one thing, they gonna get you. They did this with Angel Ramirez when he got put on that list. He was chronicling this how and that's another thing. I need to start bringing up some of these more archive videos, older videos, so some of the new guys understand that a lot of what we're talking about, I mean, we've been on point with what the fuck we're saying. This isn't some new shit. But anyway, all these women were reacting. They were just getting so angry at Amiri, and this is why Amiri ain't that bad, because y'all saw what they did to him once he tried to come back to it. But he still has that complete that men do the bidding of women and women do the bidding of children. I mean, that's just gynocentric matriarchal shit. That shit is insane. That is like some pagan bullshit that just needs to go. That's not like the Old Testament, where the Old Testament is better than the new one. Fuck are you on, nigga shit? Some shit where, no, whatever. But anyway, bringing it back to George. Now I'm about to bring it home. Bringing it back to George. We were talking about black men don't come together, and I said black men don't want to, which is, by the way, something he would have never said. I had to say it, which I shouldn't have to. This is why I always critique George like I do, because I'm like, y'all not going nowhere, because all y'all looking to do is get agreement for them bitches. Want to do, they can come along and not come along, and you'll replace it if you have to, because then the main thing they had was a disagreement on them hopping the fence. But anyway, long story short, when it comes to this money shit, talk about building. I'm like, bitch, if that was true, everybody, not George is a bitch, that's all I'm saying, but I'm talking a woman that says this. If that was true, the top 25% economically of black men should have 3 bitches on deck just off the back that they got paper. But on paper, if you really care about building. But what do women do? Which they don't, but I can do bad all by myself and all this bullshit. And then once they realize they can't do that shit, because let's be clear here, it's not that women really realize they can't do it, it never goes away. What it really is they get tired of looking at that white bitch, that Latin bitch, and that Asian bitch with a man, and then they start to get jealous and angry because they're competing with them in this hierarchy that they buy into, even though they act like they don't. And that's really why they come to us, talk about what we ain't built. And this is why their perspective is so bent. Because my thing is, if what the Hispanics is built is so great, take your ass over there. Take your ass over there. If what the Asian fucker is built in the United States is so great, take your ass over there. But they won't do that. And this is why I keep telling y'all need to keep telling them to hop. Y'all need to force black women to hop, in my opinion. That's something I want to introduce in the lexicon. Whenever a chick say you ain't shit, you don't build, like, you know what, you right. Take your ass over there. Go to the free agency. This team sucks. Go to the free agency. Let's see what's going to be. We the New York Knicks. Take your ass to free agency. Save yourself. Because we know what time it is. But anyway, what's up, Israel? But the biggest issue that annoys me, black men have on money doesn't matter. And in this group, this is supposedly a Kevin Samuels fan group there. And this is how he tried to sneak it. He tried to sneak it on some, well, you know, money ain't the only thing that makes a high value man. You got leadership, you got this, you got that, you got this. And then I responded, I gave, you know how I respond. But the, long and short of it was, I said, You know, you talk that shit, but there's qualities today, but he's just a broke ass nigga. I also said everybody don't got, because he tried to hold it on 6 figures. Everybody don't gotta make 6 figures. But you'll be a fool to believe that you have the same kind of power at the individual level when you ain't got, like, even if you got your stuff together, but you ain't got no kind of real money outside of that. You'd be a fool to say you got the same kind of power. So capitalistic society in the United States in the world, in the history of the world, you out here, the only motherfucker out here that's talking about money don't matter. And then he tried to respond to me talking about how Obama had no power, even though Obama was president. Or that Bill Cosby has no power, even though Bill Cosby was worth millions of dollars. I said just because the United States of America and the legal system came for Bill Cosby and white people, that doesn't mean Bill Cosby didn't have any power. That's not what that meant. That means that's not so those arguments are bullshit. But I said, you notice what you didn't say? You didn't give me an example of somebody that has no money but it has power. And I said, you can't name Malcolm X because I'm going to head that off before you even try, because Malcolm X's power came from the Nation of Islam. And as soon as they removed that from him, that time was not what it was. Because once they removed their influence, just like Martin Luther King's power came from the collectivity of the black church. It's given to you by whatever. Charles has his own personal power. United States military. All the accomplishments he does. But Charles is also a former soldier and a cop. Those things are in there too. And even somebody that's like not Charles is weaker. If they're a police officer, they have authority. Now, obviously, we use that responsibly, and I see that can be taken away. Obviously, but that's my point. And the problem is, black men don't understand the politics of power. You got way too many niggas around us. We're talking the sphere now. We're not just talking about like dudes that are just out here. That we've had these conversations, but dudes love game because dudes love the idea that even if I have no power, I should get sex. Black men, honestly, should not even, and that's what it comes down to. It comes down to black men, and this is how black men invest in the gynocracy. Because black men like to try to talk about, oh, well, I ain't got no money, but I'm competitive. How? Show me where you're competitive without no money. Because the only thing that really counts as far as being competitive is the competition of power. Show me that without money. And when I say without money, show me that because niggas that think like that tend to flock together. And this is one thing where me and Jason Black absolutely 100% agree. I would love for somebody to try to take, BGS Sugarmore. BGS got influence. People that's got paper. So, show me that. These niggas that talk, they can never show you. And when I say show you, I know people ain't gonna show me their personal stuff, but they don't even talk as if you could tell they got influence on people that can actually move stuff. They don't. Because what it comes down to is they still want sexual access. And these are dudes that give a fuck more about sexual access than they do power. These are dudes that if you give them a choice between power and sexual access, they will choose sexual access. How do I know? Because this is what other groups use against us. This is why groups like don't mind throwing their women at us. Because they know that we'll check out the game. And so you notice how this is not the shit that black women complain about. Yes, I've heard women that listen to Cynthia G talk about all y'all care about is big dicks and swag. Like shit like that. But the reality is, well, think of the nigga that cares about big dicks and swag. Why does the nigga care about big dicks and swag? Because he sees that as a direct line to sexual access without power. But you all sexually validate that. If you all stop validating that, then that wouldn't happen as much. I'm not saying that I'm taking it off of black men, but what I'm saying is when women talk about they don't build, it's like, number one, all you need is one dude to build. Number one. And number two, if you can't find a dude, either you ain't shit or also you don't value that. That's building is not really what you value. For instance, whenever you hear a woman say that Well, he's boring. That's ability. There's levels to that. And a lot of women, they want, oh, he's exciting. He's this. No, you like unstable people. You like dudes that are unstable. And then when that shit bites you in the ass, you want to pretend to be a victim. Now flipping it back to the dudes though, y'all act like, yes, you are a black man. But y'all really act like that this shit is pressed on y'all so hard that y'all can't help but be in poverty, or y'all can't help but crazy is here and quit. And then dudes are, oh, well, Kevin ain't a god and all of that. I'm not saying that, but Kevin has said straight up, if you don't work 60 hours a week, you really don't need to say shit. And most of these niggas aren't working 60 hours a week. They say this. They so bad, and this is a problem. Like, if we shouldn't agree on anything, this is something that universally black men should agree on. And I hear, and this is one of the main criticisms I really hear with Kevin, it can have some weight to it, is when dudes start to try to say, well, you know, high value men, and it was even a female that said that, well, you know, high value men, money isn't, you know, doesn't make a man high value. And I'm like, well, if that's true, then why the fuck are you talking about level up? Because y'all never talk about leveling up outside of money. See, that's the mentality that has motherfuckers needing to level up in the first place. And you will hear niggas, and no, well, here's the thing. All these niggas are not lazy or just the useless. That's not all of them. There's degrees to it. Language I've been using right now, but it's not all these are just dudes that don't work and ain't got a job. No, y'all, cause those dudes aren't even in the kitchen. Those dudes aren't even in the car. You need to look at the dudes where but they still got this mentality. Like this, you hear this from a lot of blue collar people. You hear this from a lot of middle income people, where it's like they don't want a hierarchy leadership. This is one thing about black men. Black men do not like dudes using money as a mechanism to create to hierarchy. Black money or how much you invest in means you get to like write the rules. Who says who? They don't like that. This is where a lot of this Highlander syndrome comes from. Nigga, it ain't about money. It's about I can beat your ass. Or it's about this. Or it's about that. Or it's about I'm a man because manhood. And my black men don't come together. And see, this is the type of shit that like people like George, because George is probably on the other side of this. He's probably, yeah, man, you know, it ain't just money that makes the man. It ain't. And I'm like, do you not realize that only we think this way? Do you not realize that Africans don't think like this? Only we think this way to this extent. Why? And this goes back to even before I realized the gynocracy was a problem. Why? Like, why would you even think about it? The same niggas that will say they will lose their mind about tricking are the same niggas that will be like, well, you know, money ain't everything, yo. Money ain't everything. And when you read books like Think and Grow Rich and stuff like that, you start to realize, do you not understand that just you putting that out there in your mind has a concussive effect in your subconscious? Do you not understand that? You live in a society where money is damn near everything. And let me give you I'll prove it. I will prove it to you right now. Shout out to Glenn and Cameron. Glenn and Cameron was talking about how a lot of people are fucked up in this economy right now because this economy is in a very weird place. And he said, you have motherfuckers that were able to sit their ass at home and for the first time in their life, in their adult life, I'm talking about like when they really was adulting, not know when they were fucking around doing what they wanted to do, slumming it. But like people that had decent jobs and shit, this was the first time in their life that they actually had time. Americans don't even understand what that concept is. Time freedom, passive income. And they said once you get on that shit for a prolonged period of time, it's hard to come off of that passive income shit. Yeah, I saw a couple of minutes of that, Ezreal, but he made that private. Typical. Probably put it on his Patreon though. But and he said how once people get a taste of that, it's very hard. It really is. It's very, so they're talking about people are having a hard time getting people to go back to the office, or people are doing like little hustle things to keep on unemployment but still be able to Uber with 1099s and shit. People are doing things, if they're not about to go back to work, if they can make the same money at home, not doing that at work. And it's not about laziness. It's not all laziness. A lot of it is time freedom is addicting, yo. Like every day, like man, I remember because right now I do have a 9 to 5, and I am looking to get out. But I remember like what it was like for every day to be like Saturday. For me to from that like that, 10 to like 2, be in the mall working on my computer and stuff. Go to the coffee shop, Panera Bread, all that, and you have the shower with people going to lunch. But other than that, like you just being out, right? And it's almost a different way of living. And so my point is, dudes don't think money doesn't matter. Do you understand how much doors you close in on itself? But even not you, do you realize how much the lack of kinetic impact you can have with do you right? Do you realize, how many of these niggas love talking about and these mama's boys, and only thing they can really do is help her out here or there, but they can't really do nothing to really make her life better, to really extend her life. Have that lock in that door, money doesn't matter. Because they're afraid that they won't be good enough. And you'll have dudes that they will try to talk about manhood in every other way. But when it comes to money, they're bitch. And they're bitch made because they don't even want to try. So what they do is they get hostile, or they outright they do the same thing as black women do when it comes to accountability, when it comes to their relationships. I promise you, if Kevin did a show on economics and he had nothing but black men call, them niggas would sound just like them bitches, if not worse. And he might want to do that if for nothing else, because I'll tell you this. The problem is black women will use that to justify why they act the way they do. And they act so out of control. See, the thing is, society is going to punish black men and things like that. Especially when. But real talk, they would sound just like them. Dudes would sound just like them. They will start calling Kevin all sorts of the F-bomb. All sorts. They will just lose their minds. Even BJ said that we were trying to get dudes to do trades. They don't want to listen. They don't. And this is not like somebody said something and I'm just feeling some type of way. No, what it is I've seen this. Black men have a real problem with economics. Male enlightenment has seen it. Like too many dudes. They have a really big issue. Now, a man needs to pay 100% of everything for a woman. I don't agree with that necessarily, because you got to make these women invest, because they don't respect it. Women don't respect. If you can't change it, like paying, let me tell you something. Paying for a date don't mean shit when the woman got it. Like when a woman can pay for it too, it don't mean nothing. Unless you can change these women's life, you paying for that shit don't mean jack shit. So why would you pay for everything for a bitch you just fucking, or a girl, or necessarily a girlfriend? Now, if it's a wife, that's different. But you make that commitment. But like real talk, and even then might not be great. Because if she don't gotta work, and then she all of a sudden ain't work, then when you get divorced, now she's helpless. And then now you really about to come off that money. Now, but my point is, you'll have dudes. And this isn't so I'm not saying everything's got to go one way, but what I'm saying is, if you really out here thinking that all this intangible bullshit is going to carry as much weight Why do you about get my education, get my money up? Think of the women in Caucasian, the ones that aren't dusty. They all got their money up. How is it that the man, how important money is, but the niggas don't? Explain that. The women, I promise you, I will never get an argument. It's very rare that a woman will sit there playing this game about well, money don't really matter. They do not believe that. Why is it that we are all in the same community, but they don't believe that, but black men do try to pull that? Money, and I gotta, because dudes then always calling in trying to talk about money don't matter. Well, man, this is about leadership and intent. Nigga, you ain't leading shit. Show me what you're leading. What you're leading. Show me what you're leading. Show me what you're leading. Well, man, you got high school coaches and all that. Man, get the fuck out of here. Like high school coach, they're doing the job. Stop that. I mean, for real. Now, a woman is going to... Now, here's the thing. Because that's what it is. Then, yeah, she may play that game with you. But I promise you, she got dudes in there. Just like she got dudes in her contact list. If she need money, she can go to. And guess what? The thing a lot of women don't understand is they know... Look, even if dudes know how to lay pipe, most black men know how to wait. But these dudes aren't, especially if they look good, dudes are not gonna deny dick to a bitch. Dudes don't charge for fucking. They don't. And I'm not talking about on some gigolo shit, but I'm talking about on some acculturated shit. They don't do that. Dudes don't even think that way. Black men don't think that way. That's like a foreign concept. Charge a bitch to put in to lay the dick? That's a queen. That's a goddess. The least I can do is do that. They don't think that way. Their game is pre-qualification. This is why body game is a lie. These niggas love to talk about body game. No. That's game is mental. Game is your ability to interface with a bitch's emotions. Then fuck that body. You talk about going in and lifting weights. There is no game. You just do the work. There is no game. Lifting weights is science. It's a hell of a lot more science than art. Game is more art. That's why it's harder to, I don't care how genetically you are. If you put in the work, you're gonna get, well, you may be buffed out, all that. No, but you're gonna get a body. So when people that shit, those are like marketing terms. But that don't really got no real meaning behind it. Like that's a term I might use. In fact, I got a dude now that I'm helping out. Then I might tell him that. Talk about body. So you black talk about body game. Them Negroes fall for that. Now them white people ain't gonna fall for that, but them niggas will fall for that body game. Use terms like that in your marketing, because niggas buy into it. Yeah, man, body game, dumb game. Yeah, use that. If you're aiming for that demographic, use that. They like that shit. They like those words, body game. Whoa. It's not really. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It works. Just do it. Nike. That's what I tell people when I mean just do it. It doesn't matter. Nike. Just do it. Nike. Oh, let me see. Somebody hit me with a super chat. Appreciate it, Sam. I am. But yeah, man, for real. And I'm sorry, dude, if I can tell any of y'all 34, if any of y'all younger than me, I don't give a fuck what you think. Money matters. I'm not saying that money is gonna. I'm not saying that you can't fuck and then you got money, you'll be all right. That's not what I'm saying. And nobody is ever saying that. No black man is never telling you that. But what I'm saying is money can buy you time freedom. This is what, if I want you all to understand this more than anything else. Money will buy you two things in this country, in this world today. Number one, and it depends on how you get it. Because here's the thing, you making a whole bunch of money every second of your life, not necessarily the business. But your control of your economic situation. That's how I like to say it. Because ain't nobody saying you got to be rich. Like, think of, like, I'll give you a perfect example. I know some dude that's gotten into internet marketing, has done very well. Older, like, he ain't older, but he's like, 38, 37, 38. Just popped off on TikTok for him. Great. Him and his wife, they were already planning on doing this. Apparently, this accelerated. Okay, so I want you to understand. So it was either Mobile or in Montgomery, whatever. He's going from a high cost of living place to one of the lowest cost of living places in this country. And I know we talk shit about Alabama, but Alabama got a couple cities: Mobile, Montgomery, Birmingham. And I mean, this shit got internet. I mean, this shit ain't like the third world or some shit. You know, it ain't that. So think about the lifestyle he can live, because he can fly out anywhere he wants. Let's say he makes 15,000 a month. Let's say that's how much he makes. That's generally around the area ballpark. So he's gonna be making 180,000. This is where he's at now, and then he's going from a high cost of living place to a low cost of living place. Knowing him, his wife is definitely on board, because he wouldn't be making that type of jump. So I sound like they came to that agreement together. Maybe that, I think she may have family down there, but long story short, and she got her own income too. My point is, this dude is in a situation where his costs are going to drop and his money is going up. That's what I'm talking about. So obviously, people say, well, how much money? Well, if you live in California, first thing I'm going to tell you, if you live in California, unless you need to be there for your big job, leave. You ain't got to go far. Go to Phoenix. Go to Vegas. That's it. Y'all understand? New York, leave. Unless if y'all got actual skills, like construction, HVAC, y'all don't need to be there unless y'all got hella business there. But real fucking talk, that shit is fucking some of y'all up right there. It's the location that y'all at. Shout out to Apple. Apple's actually about to build like a $500 million thing in Research Triangle Park. It's gonna bring in like 5,000 jobs. I know that's random, just wanted to say it. But so it's not just about making more money. It's not about just getting a job, working all it. No, it's about it's about you having different ways you interface with this economy. Just because you have a job doesn't mean you don't have a side hustle. It doesn't mean you're not networking with people that are doing stuff. People that look like you, sometimes they don't. You gotta have your ear in for that shit. That's the purpose of networking. My point is that you can controlling your time, getting your ability to control your time, and getting the ability to control what you say. Because here's another thing. You all wonder why all these niggas like Boyce Watkins, all them always talk about dudes need to be with single moms, all this bullshit. They do this because most of their audience is women. We understand that. What can we learn from that? That even if you have your own business, audience is who you are accountable to. So if your audience is like white people and you're like Anthony Bryan, right? Then as soon as you say something white people don't like, they're gonna text your ass. If not outright get rid of you. Now some people get away with that, like Kanye, but Kanye's an exception, not the rule. Same thing. Look at what happened with what's his name? Dude wilding out. You know what I'm talking about. As soon as he say something, Jews almost lost everything. He had to take that long walk back, and he's great. He's probably grateful they took him back. That nigga probably cried in the car. Nick Cannon, he probably cried in the car when they gave him that phone call. That nigga probably thinks those people are God. I wouldn't be surprised if he don't convert. I wouldn't even blame him, because I'm surprised they took him back. I don't give a damn how much money he can make them. If you need me to be that for you, I will be that for you. I will be that for you. Damn these niggas, because these niggas weren't there. Y'all forgave me. These niggas ain't forgive shit. Well, they'll get over it. Oh, it is Borgen. All right, I'll be careful with it. But my point is, so So it's not just about you having money, it's about how you're drawing it from. This is why some people like to diversify their money, because if one group of people get mad, that's all they're gonna do is get mad. That's all they're gonna do is get mad. This is why corporations do it. This is why you need to do it. And so even telling the truth costs. Telling the truth ain't free. Think about Kevin. Kevin can do what he does. Yeah, I'm not saying he wouldn't do it, but he can do what he does because he know black men are the main ones paying that show's bill. Women are just watching the bitch. And although women are obviously growing his shit to get access to more dudes so it works out, at the end of the day, he can afford to tell the truth because y'all fund it. And shout out to Ike and all them dudes that be dropping like $100, $200, $500 per show. You all would have more dudes telling the truth if more dudes did that. Not even 100. It don't even gotta be 100. If a couple of people did $1 here and there, that would make a difference. Hell, fuck money. If somebody shared shit, that would make a difference. So when dudes say money doesn't matter, it's not just them saying that for them. What you're essentially also saying is, I don't need my own media. What you're essentially saying is, I don't need my own nothing because money don't matter. I don't need my own media. I don't need my own legal team. I don't need my own politicians. I don't need my own house. You don't need nothing. One of the goofiest things that I heard Umar do. And look, I don't have like, look, I'm not trying to throw Umar under a bus, but one of the goofiest things I heard Umar do was when Umar was on the Breakfast Club campaigning to get $150,000 to get some shit repaired in his house or some shit repaired. He was asking for, I was like, nigga, you begging. That's why niggas are playing you right now. I compare that to like when Tariq asked for money. Tariq asked for you to invest in the socialpreneurship stuff he's doing and you get a result. He says you put money, and look, I think some shit. I'm not gonna lie. I don't buy a lot of his shit because he overcharges. I do think he does do that. So I'm not, I have my opinions. But I think Jason, when it comes to that. But my point is, you got a result for what you get. Umar. So it don't come off as begging with them. It comes off as with them, you're participating in what he's doing because they've done it enough where you can trust the result they're gonna get, even if Jason Black acts like an asshole. But Umar, it comes off as pathetic. And it's like, you see this dude. This is a black man, Umar ain't nobody that you really want to fight like straight like that, like straight up. But at the same time, it comes off as weak as fuck because this nigga, it comes off like he's begging. And you know why he does it? It's not because he's not intelligent. It's because he thinks money doesn't matter. So you know what he calls money? Do you know what Umar calls money? I don't know why it's Borgin. I'll try to be better. They call when you hear a nigga call money, support. Support me. Support me. Support me. That's how you know a dude thinks like this. And it's like you don't even and you sit here and you expect people to just support you, but you don't even like people tend to support people that know how to support themselves. And I'm not mad at him making money as a speaker or none of that's not even what the issue is. The issue is he tries to turn his nose up on the very people that he be asking for money. I'm talking about big donations. He tries to be one of these types to say, I'm going to take your money, but your money are coming without conditions. That's what he tries to pull. And then they talk about how, and the very people that they could probably get away with that with don't support. All right, I'm about to go on my thing, so it's not boring. I'm almost finished. All right, this should be better now. Fucking AT&T wireless. All right. Oh my god. All right, y'all see here, but that's what they call support. And this is not all the time, because there's been some YouTubers that said this as well. But the point is, y'all need to be real weary about being around people that talk about money don't matter. Because at the end of the day, man, that's some weak ass shit. Yeah, video boarding because I ain't got game. Whatever. And these this is why I rail against dudes. I don't have an issue with game, but I have an issue with how black people interface with it. Just like somebody can say, okay, take hip hop music. Hip hop music is in and of itself is not a bad thing. But hip hop music, and you take everything literal, is not the smartest thing in the world. Religion in and of itself is not a bad thing. But if you take shit literal and you say, well, everybody is going to hell but people in my religion, so they might as well die, that's going to be a problem. Press 1 if the video's better. Press 1 if the video's better. It should be better. Press 1 if the video's better. Okay. I just want to be sure. My bad. I get annoyed. Like, even when niggas are talking about traveling, and then they talk about, like, oh, I'm going to travel. I'm going to teach English. I'm like, nigga, you can barely speak English. Are you fucking serious? And they don't pay no real money doing that. And as a black man, you are not going to be able to backpack your way through that shit. You are not white. What are you talking about? I ain't saying you got to splurge, but that's dumb. And dudes, and that's how you know they're not serious. Or dudes will be like, yeah, man, I'm going to be traveling with my Bitcoin and Forex. So you basically going to be betting. You're going to be overseas while you betting. Because that's what Forex is. And Bitcoin, to use the money, you got to pull the money out. And I'm not trying to talk shit about Bitcoin because they in a bear market, because I'm not really against Bitcoin. But see, you got niggas, think about it. You got motherfuckers that were planning on thinking Bitcoin was going to get to 90, and then they probably jumped in the fucking market and then that shit started going down. Spirit of justice, you know what I'm talking about though, Spirit. You know what I'm talking about. There's exceptions to every rule, but it ain't like some easy shit where you can kind of put out a whole thing about 50 dudes just going over there. And these will be the same dudes that talk about alpha your way through it, because think about it. But there's a slippery slope with black men looking for women's emotional cues to know how to behave. Black men are taught at a very early age. How mama feels is how you need to respond. And dudes will go their whole life looking for a woman to tell them how to behave based on their own emotions. This is why they always come to us with this emotional bullshit. You really think black women come to white men with that bullshit? They know that emotional bullshit white men are not going to give a fuck about. In fact, white men are going to get real weirded out, and they're going to want you never to come around them again if you try to pull that shit. This is why black women always tell you, oh, I can let my hair down, or I can be comfortable around you. It's like I can be the bitch I always want to be, because that white man ain't going to tolerate it. Yeah, it'll be all right, but that's not my point, John. Though my point is, you got people that they're gonna jump. They jumped into Bitcoin at like 49, and then they thought that shit was gonna get to 60, and they're like, oh fuck, they threw their stimulus money out because they not thinking, because they trying to get an easy lick. It is called FU money, and think about what Snoop Dogg did. So yeah, I understand. See, dudes like to try to say, well, money ain't everything. I understand that, because you got to be smart about it too, and there's context. But we can't even get into that because we got dudes that really want to move in this world like money don't mean shit. And these will be the same niggas like, yeah, man, you may got all that money, but I'm still fucking your bitch. I'm like, nigga, you a concubine though. Like, you actually think you actually think because that white bitch is fucking you with her white husband, that you actually doing something. That same white chick in another era, that same white chick will lie on you and get you killed to protect her. She don't care about you. And it's the same thing with black women. O'Shea did a video talking about this. A lot of dudes think because they fucking, yes, you're getting your biological imperative met. So yes, I would say in a situation where a dude is paying and you're not, yeah, you're probably winning. But to that woman, she still don't respect you like you think she do. Because as soon as she start having a kid, or you have a baby by her, or however you niggas say that when y'all want to talk that slum shit, guess what? She still runs you through the ringer. No, absolutely, Sean. It is a problem. And the reason why it gets talked about so much is because dudes don't understand that ultimately they give black women power. They give them power by giving a fuck. Like a lot of these niggas talk as much about this shit as they do because they're looking for black women to validate what they think. I can tell you that show Kevin Samuels had. Samuels is gaining like 4,000 subscribers a day now. He's gaining between 3,500 and 5,000 subscribers. And that show he did like a couple of days ago, maybe like 5 days ago, when he asked that therapist those questions, man, a lot of them dudes were hurt. A lot of black men are not going to make it. Like if we ever get to the point where we're crossing a Rubicon, where black women are really telling black men how they really feel, and make no mistake, them admitting that they don't like black men like that is definitely a step in the right direction. A lot of dudes will go into a depression because they can't handle that. They'll either go into a depression or they'll go into denial. All right, let's see what y'all got because I ain't trying to make this forever. Correct, passive income is the way. Absolutely, passive income is the way. And passive income is not the only way, but passive income is a way. Your ability to make money in different ways is a way. So yeah. Papoose is a high value man, would rather be with him than 50 Cent. Kevin Cent is a high value, would rather be with him than 50 Cent, Kevin Sam, Jerry Jacket, etc. Papoose is a high value man. Look, man, I like Remy Ma. You know, I'm not trying to shit on Papoose. You know, Papoose is light skinned brother. He's stuck with his woman. Um, but 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 that's the wrong idea to pull from that. That's the wrong. First of all, really, why would you want? But like, let's take 50 Cent. Why would you rather be Papoose than 50 Cent? That makes no sense. Well, Papoose got better morality. That's retarded, Malik. That's dumb. 50 Cent in particular, you saying that's dumb. Think about that's like you saying, well, that's like you talk about 50 Cent when 50 Cent was in his underground days. That's dumb. That makes no sense what you just said. That makes no sense. Damon Glass, the money comes like y'all like if you really just break that down, like I would love for you to be on a panel and you actually explain to me why you would rather be Papoose than 50 Cent. Like I'll take 50 Cent in particular. Why would you rather do that? It makes no fucking sense. Like y'all, a lot of y'all will start talking stupid, man. The money comes in, you really don't have to worked hard for it. Damon Glad it's freedom. Yeah. King 20. And see, a lot of dudes will talk this dumb shit and not even understand that. A lot of these niggas, it's like saying, well, I know how to count, but I don't need to know how to multiply and divide. Or I know how to read at like a second grade level, but I don't need to know go. This is how because a lot of dudes don't really understand the world they close themselves to when they say dumb shit like that. Israel, the Daywalker, black men are trying to sex their way out of their masculine responsibility. Why you think a lot of them scuff at being older? They see no value at long-term investment and tripling their. No, they don't. And this is why a lot of these niggas end up homeless. Because once your mama die, once your parents die, and once you your dick stop working, It's at least at a level that, you know, a chick will let you stay in their house and you ain't able to make money, nigga, you're gonna be homeless or you're gonna be in jail. That's what's going to happen. And this is how that happens. That mentality. Spending time with family and friends on a group. Yep. You have hobbies. Well, yeah, hobbies is great, but you know, my opinion is anything that's a hobby should be serving a purpose. Baby boy syndrome. And it's not, look, I'm not trying to shame nobody. I'm really not. Shout out, like, everybody's opinion is valid to them, I guess. That's not my point. But my point is, too many black men have this fucking mentality. And this is a gynocentric mentality. It doesn't matter what you all think I'm saying. No other group in this country has that mentality. And there's a very strong correlation to that and why we are where we are. Dudes like to blame white supremacy. Yes, white supremacy is a factor. But you all make white supremacy work a hell of a lot smoother with this mentality. What's that I heard? It's all about the Benjamins. Correct. Pay your family bills like it's not. Absolutely. But see, they don't think about that. See, a lot of these, and I'm not saying all these dudes, some of these dudes are low-key burdens to, like, it's a lot of shit. And see, a lot of these, and see, the problem with the women is I don't want to hear what the fuck they got to say on this, because real talk, they're fucking niggas like that. Women shit, like, if you're fucking a dude that thinks this way, you deserve that. I wonder why do black women, other races come in black men spaces like they don't understand. CJ, he was kind of doing that with Ramil 2008. Yeah, he was. Isra Neri, Arens, he's done it before and it went her. Yeah, it is gonna go horribly. It is gonna go horribly. Damon Glass, these brothers, I had got them in a small group and taught them the game. Niggas love game except financial game. I got them booked. Some of them don't understand. Look, man, you know, this shit ain't really as complicated as people like to make it out to be. They make it complicated so you don't try to enter the game. It really is. I use words like economics because it's to make it broader. But yeah, shout out to Israel. I think it should be 75-25. Well, my thing is, look, if you broke and you out here fucking, you wasting time. And at the end of the day, the reason why I have no sympathy for a lot of these chicks, because a lot of these chicks are fucking look, it's once you start getting like past 18, 19, 21, 22, I don't want to hear you slum fucking. You don't get to say you leveled up, because by you leveling up, that's telling me you've been slum fucking. So you did your job basically coddling these Negroes by giving them easy sex without earning it. Money matters, standards matter only by understanding if you're in a patriarchal society. Shout out to CJM. The pipe layers do need to charge them. Yeah, BGS said that. But see, they don't think like that. Because they think they're getting payment by that woman validating them. They see sexual submission as the ultimate payment. Jamaicans charge, yeah, Jamaicans do charge them. Shout out to that Pursuit of Happiness book. Jamaicans do, but shit, that's the hustle. I mean, they ain't got other options. They need to. Trust me, black women don't care about y'all. They just using you. I know firsthand. I had black women as friends. I was a fly on the wall. All things that look, man. We know. We don't need to be told. We know what time it is. Build your body, build your mind, build your economical muscle. Exactly. Niggas always talking about body game. Nobody talk about financial game. Okay, Damon, I was just making sure you guys know what the deal is. I don't want to repeat. Yeah, man. I mean, what are you, white, Sean? Like, is that what it is? Because, yeah. Because, yeah. Internet sketchy. Oh, okay. This is where the internet bullshit starts. All right. So I'm getting down. You could have been way bigger YouTuber if you took your streaming game more seriously or pre-recorded it. Yeah, I'm sure I could have. And here's the funny thing: I can always change my mind. I can always start. I actually just created a Patreon. And I'm gonna load all my older videos on there. So you know, I really don't give a shit because this is not how I primarily make money. And I'm not saying that to be an asshole, but I'm just saying that, like, you have, like, it'll make sense if I ever show you all. I mean, John Doe, I disagree with that. Like, I disagree with that. Because when we say jump in, it depends on how much money they put in. Y'all be really acting like motherfuckers be dumping, like, really high level money. See, man, the problem with Bitcoin is y'all get real, like, sensitive about that. And this is why I tell people, like, y'all, you can make money just promoting Bitcoin, getting people into it, because people don't think. I mean, yeah, Jim Rat. Like, I'm like, what the like that shit. Like, if anything, I felt for how Kevin was at, because Kevin was on one that day. Kevin was on one. But as far as the bullshit they were saying, nigga, that was Tuesday. That I mean, shit, they always say that. And dudes talk about I'm shocked. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, the fuck are you doing? Like, the fuck are you all like what? Like, these niggas were, and they were for real about that too. They weren't playing, but you need that. And what I think what shocked them was that these women came out of their own mouth. I'm gonna tell you, what that therapist fucked up, and I was like, "Bitch, you fucked up." Is when because Kevin was like, "Hey guys, watch," and Kevin was like, he didn't say watch this, but he said, "Hey guys, look here," and then he started asking her, "Do Latin women belong to Latin men, Asian?" And she even said definitely on the Asian part. He said white, then Latin, Asian, and then she went back to black, and then that's when she had to admit no. And I'm like, yo, how did you fall for that? Like, I get it. Kevin's good, but he ain't that good. Like, she was shook. She was shook because she knew what the truth was, but she just. And I'm like, Shahrazad Ali says this shit all the time. But that's how much the gynocracy got. So even with women, it's not free will. These women will be out here talking about I can do it. I know that you can't. Do something that those females don't like and see what happens. You just asked Rebecca Lynn Pope about that. Rebecca ended up disavowing like a lot of shit she said because she was getting that heat. Papoose got superior bars. Papoose. I like Papoose, so I'm not about to talk bad about him. But come on, man, stop bullshitting. Stop. Don't try to compare Papoose to 50 Cent as far as power. Do not do that. Moral victories are for minor league coaches, and I don't agree with everything Jay-Z does, but that shit is true. Everybody wants to talk. Oh, he sold out Title. Title was never meant. What do you think Title was supposed to be? Title is not supposed to be some fucking black. Title is not BET. So let's not compare Title to BET, because that's not what Title was. Title was never meant to be that. 50 Cent has money and fame, but his oldest son, he has no relation. Okay, that's his oldest son. Hey, that's his oldest son. Fuck his son. That's, and I'm sure 50, because the thing about it is, like, you gotta, and it's the same thing with Kirk Franklin. Like, dude's got other kids, man. Like, okay, one of your kids hates you. Fuck them. You got other ones. And black me, I hate to say that. And look, keep in mind, I'm a nigga without kids. So, nigga, you can say fuck what I'm saying. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I will let you have that. So, because I don't have kids. So maybe I don't understand. But I'm going to tell you something. If I have like 3 kids and like, or if one of them don't like me, especially if it's like one son and I got another one, you just going to have to let them live. Like what Kirk Franklin is doing. Like, for real. I mean, are you really going to, like, even Glendon's going through that with his son don't like him, I don't think, because of his mama. Like, you don't have to just, black men are going to have to learn how to just be like, look, man, you want to side with mama all you want to, I can restart this shit. And 50 got his bet spread. Jim Wright, Edward, you right about most black men. It's dudes and 6 the God is simping while She's throwing subliminal messages. Yeah, man. I mean, my thing is the reason why I can listen to Six is because Six ain't stupid, but at the same time, I can eat the meat and spit out the bones. I'm not somebody that's gonna look at her and be like, oh, she's beautiful. I'm like, damn, she's attractive. She's fine. But if she say something I disagree with, her being fine isn't gonna stop me from disagreeing. I'm just not that thirsty like that. I'm just not. I'm just not. A lot of, and I'm not. Like, she's not gonna get to say 1 + 1 is 1.4, and then 1 + 1 is 2.4 or 2.3, and I'd be like, yeah, it is. No. No, it's not. Where did you get that from? No, I'm not. And niggas do be doing that. They be like, it's like y'all that is the ultimate cuckoldry, man. You simping over these chicks, like, and here's the thing, man. Okay, it's one thing if you busting a nut to these thoughts on Instagram, fine, whatever. But if you are actually like letting them tell you 1 + 1 is like 3, and because they look good, you accept that, nigga, that's bad. That's way worse. Now, Six Goddess makes more sense than she doesn't, but I'm aware enough to know where she's. I can look at the thing behind the thing, because even what she said before her shit lagged out, she was talking about, well, men need feminine energy, and any of the men that don't believe that, they have feminine energy. Well, I can even say that's bullshit, because some of the dudes that hang around bitches the most are gay dudes. Gay dudes are around women the most. So does that mean, like, I'm talking about in shit, men ain't really around women in the salon and all that shit. So would that mean that gay dudes are more masculine? Of course not. And that's just what popped off the top of my head when she said that. But see, what I did was I said, look, I'll give you, because she made some good points about, a lot of these dudes, because she tried to say, well, a lot of these dudes that are single, they got their mama doing everything. That's not true. That's not always true. That is not always true. And that's not even most of the time true. But I said, fuck it. I'll give you that. But that's not the real problem we're dealing with, is it? The problem is not, like, the MGTOW shit is like a 10-year-old thing. That's a 10-year-old thing. Even if you go with what Mr. Research talks about, which is bachelorism, which predates MGTOW, that's not even that old. Excuse me. Fuck. That's not even that old. Like, that's like 15, 20 years. Like, as far as really being a thing. That's the issue. And also, black men, even in 2010, black men rejected MGTOW for the most part. And the black men, by the way, they talk that MGTOW shit, they're still fucking women. So a lot of them are black. So black men aren't interpreting MGTOW through the prism of like how white boys do. That's not what black men are doing. So black men have never rejected feminine energy. The problem is black women are out of control, which is what Yvonne Van Zam said and Shahrazad Ali said. Sister Soldier alluded to it too. That's the issue. They're the ones basically fucking everything up. Well, they're out of control because men shouldn't have to bring women into control. That's not, women are not just psychotic and then it just takes masculine energy to keep them. That's not, that's bullshit. And most women like Six Goddess should reject that notion anyway, because what that means is they're lesser than men if that's the truth. And they don't believe that. Danica Marie and Six don't believe that. So therefore, men shouldn't have to just be overlording over women to keep them from just going retarded, going crazy. Even Yvonne Van Zam, shout out to Mediocre Tutorial Reviews. And Six Goddess is in there too. He had a whole bunch of compilation of people. And Yvonne Van Zam said that a lot of black women need to close their legs. And then she also said they get paid to be out of control. They get paid to sow chaos and be defiant. It's incentivized.
But going back to her, yeah, I said even if I give you that with the men need feminine energy, and we'll say in the black community, the problem in the black community is women dominate the community because women are using white supremacy to do so. Black women are not dominating black men on their own. Black women invest in the very white supremacy that they talk about they're against, and this is why it manifests in the way that it manifests. And at the end of the day, that's not a community that I want to say. If that's what's going to be the social contract, then we might as well say fuck it and go our separate ways. But see, what she's going to try to say is black love, black this. And my thing, and I'll give her credit because she calls out black women to a certain extent. Because she says you can't really do this if y'all act in this way. But at the same time, what she tries to do the little shame shit. That shit don't move me. It really don't. And see, she does it because in her world it works. And it does. I can absolutely believe it works. 95% of this. Like, I could believe it works 97 times out of 100 for her. Because the only thing niggas are going to be thinking about is, I want to fuck. And here's the thing about that. And this is why this is why I even talk about a woman like Sis Goddess, is because Sis Goddess is kind of one of them females. When I tell you all, a woman that actually understands her femininity, how to use it, is a dangerous thing. When I say dangerous, I don't mean so much as you should fear it. I mean, they can do damage. A lot of them dudes, even she said it before I left. She said, it was like the last thing she said. She said, a lot of y'all don't have to admit it. I know game that I know a lot of y'all not gonna admit. But which is her low key saying, I know you niggas need women. And she keeps talking, and then she wanted to talk about, well, a man is successful, has a secretary, has this, has that. But what she didn't say is those dudes have control over the women that they have. Like, if you have a secretary, if that bitch does something wrong, you can fire her. So who's in the controller position? So that's completely different than you being in a situation where you have to tolerate bullshit. You can't equate like what black men do today. Is black men will sit here and tolerate the most horrible shit. Think about it. You got women out here telling dudes that I will fuck you up if you ask for a DNA test. Is that the type of energy that black men need? Now, I think she would say that's not what she's talking about, and I'll give her that. But that's what most black women are on. If you look at the women that call Kevin, because one thing she not gonna fucking tell me is, this is what I would, if I could ask her one thing, I would ask her this. Okay, what percentage of black women do you think are like you? In any kind of range. What percentage? That's all I need to know. What percentage of black women, those black women, do you think are like you? Versus the percentage of black women that call in the Kevin, the average of women that call in the Kevin show. That's all you need to ask. Because everything she's talking about, in a perfect world, it works. But in the world that we live in right now, women are incentivized to completely throw away their femininity, just like men are incentivized to throw away their masculinity. And so when we talk about things like black love and all this other stuff, I'm like, yeah, that exists for certain people in certain pockets, but as a collective group, that's a myth. Because the next question I'm gonna ask in terms of black love is, so what are you willing? What are black women willing to sacrifice for black love? Because all I hear is them demanding shit. You ask them what are they going to do, they don't know how. And to her credit, she calls that out. And that's why I don't expect women to be saying 100% everything that men want to hear and never going to push back. Even Shahrazad Ali will say the black woman has legitimate issues with the black man, as far as like I understand why you mad at him. He do something to make you mad, but you sit there like, I'll give you like, let me take this back to something that Six said. And she said, and any of y'all, I would challenge you all to go look at mediocre tutorial reviews, and it's in there. She said that let's pretend we're dealing with white parents and a white family, and you got a son. There's a son. He wants an Xbox. and the parents say no. And the parents, let's say he's a little bit too young to be on his own, but let's say he could. And they go out, they do what they need to do, and then he runs around outside going on his white tantrum shit, talking about I'm home alone, I'm home alone, I'm home alone. Let's say it's a girl actually. I'm home alone. Now, you're putting yourself in danger. You're uncovered. You're letting people know that this house is open to be invaded on some home alone shit. You're only fucking yourself up. You're only fucking your parents up that are there to protect you. And at the end of the day, you could have did some chores or some shit to maybe get that Xbox later on. That's what black women do to the black community. That's what she said. So I'm not one of these people. I'm always looking for the one thing they say because I know where the bullshit is. I'm not afraid of it. But my thing is, this is why I have women like Love Dorsey, her, to balance that shit out. Because they got to hear it from them. And if they're just on some saying everything, like Jessica X don't say everything they want to hear. Because they're women. They're not going to. And I don't know what you all are really looking for. Now, people will say, well, this is how Chrissy was. No, it wasn't. Chrissy was not like that. Chrissy was always very antagonistic to black men. It's just, and Paris was too. It's just Paris wasn't as much as Chrissy. It's a difference. The Men's Restoration Channel says facts, facts, facts. The Six Guys is a matriarchal fake. Wow, man. She's another Danica Marie. But see, y'all, like, here's my thing. See, some of y'all that say shit like that, y'all are on this. Like, if I were to ask you all to show me a woman that is an idea of what you think black women should be, could you all produce that? You can't say Shahrazad Ali. You can't say Sister Soldier or Dr. Francis Quest. Could you all produce that? Could you all tell me? I don't think you could. So I got to look at it where, okay, y'all are like all black women are bad. And I've always told you 80-20, 80-20, 80-20, 80-20. Now, the problem with a lot of you all is a lot of you all, and I always tell dudes is you all have this thing where you all are afraid that you all are going to come off of your position to be on her program. I don't have to worry about that because I'm very clear on what the fuck I want to do. And it doesn't matter, who or what comes in that. If it's not in alignment with what the fuck I want to do. Now, I'm willing to compromise to get what I want ultimately. But what I will not do is throw away the store over some pat on the head of feelings like that. See, I'm very comfortable in that. So I can deal with women that ultimately they have maybe here or there I don't like, but ultimately, and you see how I talk to dudes. Like, I don't agree with a lot of what Fantastic says on certain things, but at the end of the day, the end result, we're on the same page on. Same thing with Bernard Riley. So am I really going to holler at you about the details? At the end of the day, Six God knows these black women are out of fucking control. Same thing with Danica Marie. Now, we'll cross the bridge if they ever get into an alignment with being in control, and they may have different reasons as to why they think it. I'm not one of these dudes. I don't have a deficit of looking at an attractive brown skin or dark skinned woman. So I don't have this thing where, oh, how she looks. Oh my God. Oh, she's so beautiful. I'm just going to agree with that the world is flat all of a fucking sudden because she says it. I've never had that problem. And some of y'all, I think the reason why y'all rail like y'all, and when I say blowjob away, I'm not talking about like physically. I'm talking about even psychologically. If she y'all in y'all head, y'all will fucking bounce back in the blue pill shit. I don't have that issue. No, you didn't walk in on a Remy Ma. Oh, okay. Well, I'm asking, Sean. You didn't walk in on a Remy Ma bashing session. I don't have a problem with Remy Ma. I mean, Remy Ma gets more support from black men than she does black women. John Doe, my point on Bitcoin thing is if you hopped in at 49, it's 54, you're winning. No matter how much you put in, I disagree with that. But whatever. I'm gonna let y'all have that. I'm glad it catch that black women supposed. Yeah. Some people would probably say Ethereum more. I would say ask Ty City. Ty City said if you ain't putting more than 2K, if you putting in less than 2K, don't bother. That's what Ty City says. 50 got him on his platform to getting his money back. Those non-black women are just smarter at hiding their intent. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Non-black women play the long game. But see, the one thing you're not saying, KO, is non-black women are a hell of a lot more practical than black women. I can trust non-black women to a certain extent to do what's in their best interest. You can't trust black women to do what's in their best interest. Black women will basically burn the house down to protect the gynocracy code. They will fuck up their children to protect the gynocracy code. And so when you sit here and you say what non-black women are doing, you still have to compare it in comparison to what? Because what you're saying is, well, it's the same shit. No, it's not the same shit. And I always tell people, don't go red pill for black women and rain blue pill for non-black women. But at the same time, and this is why I also talk about intercultural dating, but I also then say there's no one-size-fits-all solution for black men. It's up to you making the best deal you can. So I know you're going to sexually politic and always say shit about what they're doing. Yes, I expect you to do that. That's what's in your best interest. But you have to understand that I don't have to take what you're saying seriously because it's in your best interest. And women never think about that. Black women never think about, well, isn't what I'm going to say in my best interest? So, of course, they're expecting me to say that. Y'all don't think like that because at the end of the day, it's even when you're trying to help a black man, it's still about ultimately what you want. And you all don't know how to make what you want his best interest. It's just about what you want because you expect black men to obey. And even if you don't kinetically think that subconsciously, that's the clockwork that's running in your head. Yeah, absolutely. That's actually true. Ease with Pat if she left him. No, Damon. Yeah, I see it. Once I listen enough, yeah, I see it. That's why she's a single mom. And then, I've mapped that out. I've mapped that out. I can tell, but I've always been able to tell the difference low key, break that shit down to a certain extent, slice that up, nuance. Y'all the ones they'll let her looks override y'all. When I say y'all, I'm talking about who it applies. I'm not like that. So I don't have to have this like antagonistic attitude all the time. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. But somebody talk with common sense, yeah. Like I said, just like when she was talking about that, oh, well, y'all need this. First of all, the first thing is black men need to start doing is stop letting women tell you who the fuck you are. Because I'm like, well, if you know so much, where your man at? And I'm talking about the dude that's actually committing to you funding everything. Funding everything. Because it's femininity, you got that shit down packed so much. I don't simp for nobody, but like Love Dorsey makes a lot of sense. And see, it's interesting how if I compare like the six god, like Love Dorsey is probably gonna speak more real shit to black men than the six goddesses, but because the six goddesses packaged the way she is, like that's actually I'm glad you brought her up, Smurgo. I actually like that Love Dorsey is built the way she is because it lets me know are black men really paying attention. If I take Platinum and I have him listen to Six Goddess and him listen to Love Dorsey, he ain't gonna pay no attention to what they're saying. He's only gonna look at how they look, how they communicate. And it's not about, I'm not saying that love, like Six Goddess is not a better choice. What I'm saying is that tells me the dudes are not really paying attention to what they do. They're paying attention to how they look. Like I told you all, them women, them like them older, them not older, but them women is like from back in the stepdaddy kind of era was more alive. They were smarter than that. These women are game goofy today. But you notice how I don't. So even though dialing back there, the community would probably be better. But make no mistake, I'm not on. Oh well, we just gonna rest on that. That's not what I'm on. I'm just not about to sit here and say, okay, I'm gonna jump on every female versus the ones that are really just on some kamikaze shit. What's up, Jr.? Yeah, she's saying, man, and the thing about it is that tells that's an indicator of like where her situation probably went awry. She probably has a situation where the dude she was with didn't commit to her that she wanted. And now, because that's what it is with a lot of these females, man. Like when you look at Chrissy, her whole shit is basically getting back at the dude that she wasted 10 years with, her 20s with, when that was completely her fault. Secondly, Crystal and Karasin. It's about the dude that she tried to have a baby on and he called her bluff. That's what it is. These women's like villain origin stories. Like even when she talk about, well, men need feminine energy. Yes, but men don't need a bitch to be all up under them all the time. Like you're fucking not maid, but secretary ain't under, like, no. There's way, and even Kevin said that the secretary, what did they say? Kevin Samuel said secretary is a work wife. That's why your secretary comes with you. Sure. But see, the problem that we have is not the feminine energy problem. The problem we have is you want to be in control. That's the issue. You want men to need it and pay and basically be in a situation where they got to bend the knee to you for it. Ultimately, it's just we're gonna create the facade that he's being a man and run shit. This is why I always rail against polygamy, because that's backdoor matriarchy. And niggas, they use sex, and you dumb niggas are too dumb to understand that. Versus the flip situation, which is a patriarchal situation, is ultimately that's not what they want. And this is where, shout out to BGS when he did that book talking about like how women view black love and view love. Danica and Six probably would agree with a lot of that book. But I'm not here to fight every war today. That's not what I'm here for. And this is another reason why, quite frankly, women, like a lot of women don't like interacting, because it's different. Like I'll give Danica credit. Danica has interacted with dudes on panels sometimes. But this is why a lot of times a lot of these women don't interact on panels, because see, if you ask questions like this, they're not going to be able to wiggle out of them if you know how to ask the right questions. See, a lot of y'all want to get these women told, as Kevin Samuel saying, y'all don't really want to get them on the record. That's why when I was talking to Rashida, because I don't get a lot of opportunities to talk to her. I got her. I said, y'all need to shut up and let me get her on the record. And I didn't sit here getting mad at her. I actually applauded her for telling me what she really thought and not trying to hide it. And I meant that because there's value there. So when Rashida was on some, oh, well, all black women want to get married. And the only reason why they're not married is because black men will sit there and tell them they're going to marry them when they impregnate them, which is don't give me some. And then they leave in the last minute. That's her bullshit reason as to why there's so many single mothers out here, which is not backed by any research or anything. Q and Kevin Samuels, like a year and a half later, and then we find out these women are always getting proposals. They just don't want them. Well, I'm not even gonna throw nobody completely out because they're a baby mama, but because you could go. That isn't. But what I'm saying, well, Love Dorsey does call him out brutally, but even when Love Dorsey is talking about the men, Love Dorsey is saying the same shit I'm saying, which is at the end of the day, you basically choose that. Like she, yeah. Well, yeah, they're blue pill. They're blue pill. They're absolutely blue pill. And I'm not saying, like I said, I listen to Six Goddess too. But at the end of the day, I know I just like hip hop. I know what to listen to. And I know what to discard. White MGTOWs are too extreme for me. I see them yeah. I mean, BGS is MGTOW. I mean, BGS is retired. BGS is MGTOW, but when you look at his age and all that, so BGS ain't really a true MGTOW in that way. Well, man, I don't care about the shaming language because the shaming language is only as powerful as you allow it to be. She can shame motherfuckers all day, every day. That's not gonna stop me from doing what I'm doing as far as what I want to do. Because, I mean, honestly, black men are more married than black women. So the only thing she could really. Here's the thing. This is the thing you got to understand when she's doing that. When she's shaming black men for being bachelors, understand she's talking about the black men that are genetically, economically viable that black women want. That's who she's specifically talking about. The Allen Roger Currys of the world that they out here running through pussy. The problem is, and ultimately, men can do that as easily as they can because black women have a culture, and they've had a culture for a long time where they really don't want to be tied down to one man like that. Black women are less monogamous than black men. Let me say that again. Black women are less monogamous than black men. Historically, in the United States, I can show that. Now, we love to talk about all the black men that had, families across the street, across the town and all that. But black women have multiple, like, my mom has 3 kids by 3 different men. That's not abnormal. And see, that doesn't get talked about. We like to just hide it. How many black men are raising kids that ain't even theirs? That's the statistics say for America. It's like it's about 30%. Say what you want to about these women. These women are raising kids that are theirs. And is this all women? No. But this is what the dominating part of the society is doing. Yeah, Love Dorsey can clean up when she wants to. Shout out for the $2 super chat, Smurgo. I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I don't want my women that logical. You said Cynthia McKinney. What the fuck is that? Y'all start naming motherfuckers. This is how far up I am, man. I'm way far up. Yeah, I'm about to end this because I ain't mean for this to be 2 hours. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like Remy, so Remy Ma, like, because when they were going to try to run her through the feminism thing, this is when she was beefing with Nicki Minaj. She had to let that go because I think it came down to she didn't like her age. She didn't because if she would have like blew out her male audience and then they just would have left her out to hang, she would have really been fucked out here in these streets. That's kind of true, but that's not as true as people want to say. It's really not. People want to like. It's not like Jessica X. You could say built her platform off the sphere. That's not the same how Chrissy built her platform. I think people kind of put that out there as like a cautionary tale, but that's not really true. I'll get back to you on Paris's origin story. BGS is like 60 something years. I think he's like 67. Sandman's one of the few like dudes over there that ain't really racist like that. Oh, they got Tommy Lauren. I appreciate that, Sean. Oh yeah, they straight Tommy Lauren out real quick. Because Tommy Lauren is one of them Nashville, Tennessee, suburban, chicks that's got probably come from a good stock. But Tommy Lauren is like white girl attractive for like the right type of white guy and the right type of background. But there's a whole bunch of white bitches like that. She's not irreplaceable. And she knows that. And by the way, Tommy Lauren is already, people forget, she dated that black conservative dude for a second. So she's already on probation with white men because of that. They was like, that's a no-go. So they say, you talk this shit, you will be, bitch. You'll be married to your career. And that's it. I'm planning to start my self-improvement channel soon. I'm going to reference you and others a lot. Help you do more visits. Yeah, I appreciate that. He said, yeah, do the self-improvement thing, man. We can use that. He's in his 60s. Okay, early 60s, 63. But yeah, BGS, like, I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. I've heard Sandman say questionable things. Well, they all are going to. Man, she ain't gonna say shit. She gonna keep that shit quiet. He'll magically be like his dad will be black and his mom Nigerian. Somehow. Anyway, all right. I appreciate y'all. I got to the bottom. Whew, fuck. Yeah, B's excellent. Like, Black excellence, right? Like, if I put more work into this channel, trust me, I get this channel to boom. I mean, I got strategies to push it up. Y'all don't really understand. There's ways to manually get a channel to like, 10,000 subs and shit. I mean, you do Chitlin circuit, do the interview circuit. All right, y'all. All right, so it's been great. Appreciate the $16.99. If you want to hit me, with the super chat, it's Allen100K. Just click on my about section. I put that shit in my about section finally. If you click on the Cash App, it'll take you to the link. If you click on my link tree, it'll take you to all my social media. I've got my main Twitter account where I'll be talking that shit. So, the action is there. And other than that, yeah. With that being said, Shia Hunter. Yeah, I'll get back to y'all on that. We'll have a show where we rate female. I think those are fun shows when you rate females. Because, and I know women like, oh, well, you're rating. Let's shut the fuck up. It's really about you get to see where dudes' heads are at. Because too many dudes are talking past each other when it comes to this thick shit and shit. So you get an idea where dudes are at to get that consensus. Yeah, I'll be doing some interviews. There'll be some interviews coming through. You'll see my channel moving around a little bit because what I'm trying to do is kind of get it prepped to where if I start doing things to attract more traffic, You know, they're not just coming in and me ranting and like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about and all this bullshit. So anyway, it's been great. So with that being said, this is Edward. Start signing off. Well, yeah, Kaya, that is a big reason why like people rape females. It's so you get the consensus to where black men are at, because you hear black men talk about, yeah, man, I like a thick chick, and then you actually say, okay, show me a celebrity or Instagram bitch that you talking about, and then I see him, I'm like, what the fuck? Like it's way off. Like that's not thick. And then so it's not really about trying to tell women what they ain't about. Look, man, like people saying, oh, well, Sweetie's a six. And that shit don't matter. You think that shit matters what Kevin says in that way, other than the outrage and the social media it has? Sweetie's still gonna do what the fuck she does in that, because there's gonna be a nigga, oh, she light skinned. So that shit don't matter. But you do that in order to get an understanding of where these niggas are. That's why we do that. It's not about saying, okay, she's this, she's that. Okay, that's your definition of thick, slim, thick, whatever. And then a lot of these dudes have completely different definitions of this shit. And then dudes will start saying, well, they'll start coming out and saying, well, some dudes like bigger women. I say, okay, so these chicks ain't lying when you stupid motherfuckers are really doing that. Why? Well, man, da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, don't get me started on that bullshit. Don't get me started on that bullshit. Anyway, y'all, it's Edward signing off. Peace.